Good afternoon, dear colleagues. We continue our working day at Ukraine Crisis Media Center, and the topic of the next press briefing exhibition, Sugar Democracy Starts Its Work. Our guests are Oleksandr Vynogradov, Foundation Izolyatsiya, and Brandon Jamison and Mark Revels, and Ms. Garbuz, Astarta company representative. Welcome on stage. Thank you. So, on the 22nd of September, Izolyatsiya Fund will start its new project, interactive installation, Sugar Democracy, created by Irish sculptors Brandon Jamison and Mark Revels. And this project is a way, it raises acute topics of today for Ukrainian society, and in the center of this installation there will be a model of teacher's house, and this building was chosen because this building was created in 1912, and in 17 and 18 this was a building of Central Council and the building of Ukrainian Parliament. And for us, it is important to show that this building became a cradle of Ukrainian democracy, and people who created Ukrainian democracy, these were intellectuals, and these were writers, historians, philosophers. And for us, it is important to show this, and Isolation Fund shows that culture should change society, change our country. And around this model there will be architectons of Kazimir Malevich, Ukrainian artist, and these are skyscrapers, and they were not built, but they inspired many people in the world. The artists, the sculptures of the 20th century. So these are iconic buildings that shows the potential of Ukrainian culture. We have great potential, and we hope that in the future this potential will succeed. So in this project, for us, it is important to show that sugar is not just a product. Sugar in Ukraine is an important cultural phenomenon that has big history. In 19th century, sugar production in Ukraine and the famous Khanenko, Semerenko, Brodsky factories, these were first Ukrainian millionaires, and these were people who supported culture, who were people who contributed to Ukrainian economy, and they established different art collections that are now in the best museums of Ukraine. And for us, it is important that this project was supported by people who Astarta company and Hutarok company, who supported our project. And in this way, we show social responsibility of business. This tradition continues. This tradition exists in Ukraine, and we invite everyone at 7 p.m. tomorrow for the opening. And I would like to give the floor to Brandon Jamison, who will tell us more about installation, how it was created, and even more about it. So, Brandon Jamison.
So we have created a very special kind of magic with this exhibition. So we've created a very special kind of magic with this exhibition. It's actually a world exclusive. It's the largest sugar cube sculpture project ever created on the planet. So we're delighted to work with the Izolyatsiya Arts Foundation. They are the most professional team we've ever worked with. So thank you. So the project is a giant collaborative exhibition where we're inviting all of the public to come along and interact with it. It's a multi-sensory project in that people won't just see the sculptures and be able to touch them, but they can also imagine the sugar crystals dissolving on the tongue as they're working. Building. So it really is the sweetest, most mouth-watering exhibition that you'll probably ever see. Over 500,000 sugar cubes in total, 550,000 to be exact. So we've made a city of hundreds of different sculptures in total. Some are very, very small in scale, and then others rise up to 3 meters high. Large cranes and a giant waterfall which pours out of one side of the installation. So it'll definitely be like nothing you've ever seen before. So we do, as Alex mentioned, make a small reference to some historical architecture here in Ukraine, but the emphasis is very much on the future. We want people to come in and dream of this new imaginary place of the future and to build contemporary constructions. So we will always have assistants on hand to be able to demonstrate this process, so that the entire exhibition will evolve over the course of the 6 weeks that it's open to the public. So we really want to ignite the imagination of everyone that comes along to see the exhibition. We began planning the project 9 months ago, back in January of this year, and it's a total of 2 months of actually sculpting to this point to date. We're extremely grateful for the donation of all the sugar cubes from Who to Rock. So we couldn't have done this project without their kind donation, so thank you. And also to Astarta. Ludmila will talk soon. Again, without their sponsorship, this project would never have been possible, so really appreciate that. And just finally, we've really fallen in love with Ukraine as a country and the city of Kiev, which is truly magical, and it has really inspired this project. So I'll now hand you over to my wonderful sculpture partner, Mark Revels. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm just going to give you a kind of a brief chat about how Brent and I met and how long we've been collaborating together. But first of all, I would like to make reference to the project Brent was just talking about. We've actually, through Izolyatsiya, did a call out for architecture students. So we're actually working currently with 6 architecture students from colleges and universities across Ukraine, and they're actually coming up with small buildings of their own visions of contemporary structures, which will actually feed into the main exhibition. Brendan and I met back in 2013, and very quickly we're collaborating, and our first project was a large project called Sugar Metropolis, and it was held at the Ulster Museum in Belfast. The actual installation itself would have been probably about half the size of the one here in Kiev, as it is the largest one to date. The actual exhibition was open for 3 months, and it would have hosted 74,000 people through its doors, people from all over the world. After that, we moved on to New York, where we worked in Sugar Hill in Harlem, and that project was working with an organisation called No Longer Empty, and also Broadway Housing, and it was a project that was 20 years in the planning, in the making, to create a tower block for people to be able to afford housing in the New York area. So we worked with them just over a month. Whilst in New York, we got a call from a Hollywood film company who then locked into negotiations with us to come and work with them for a month in Los Angeles to work on a large scale similar thing, a city made of sugar. And it was actually, the client was Brita Water Filter, and they worked out that if a person drank 1 can of soda every day for their entire life, they would ingest 214,000 cubes. So by law, we had to make a city which was 35 feet long, 15 meters long by 10 meters wide. And it was an advert that was broadcast across the whole of Canada and America. After that, we did a month in China with a show called War in the Beijing and Shanghai area. And then after that, our latest one before Kiev, which was a building with sugar, was in Paris at the Centre Pompidou, and that actual exhibition would only been about a quarter of the size, and it was in relation to Minecraft and getting young people involved with computers and building kind of virtually and also within a real space. But that's everything, so I'll now hand you over to Ludmila. Thank you very much.
Доброго дня. Good afternoon. I would like to say on behalf of our startup company that to be sponsors, to be a general sponsor of this exhibition is not only, we are not only happy, but we also feel that this is an honor to us. If not we, who would do that? Astarta is a national leader of sugar production. Our agricultural holding includes 8 sugar plants, with the oldest one being 130 years old. We are those who maintain the traditions of Ukrainian sugar melting, sugar production. At the same time, we are state-of-the-art producers. We produce 25% of the total output of sugar in Ukraine. And our company is socially responsible. We continue the traditions of sponsorship, which are very old in Ukraine. Yet in 2008, our company was one of the first ones who signed the UN agreement starting sustainable corporate projects. Our annual budget for corporate project is more than 100 million. The lion's share is spent in those regions, 200 settlements and 8 regions of Ukraine. We have our ambitious goal there to be the best investor, to become the best entrepreneur, the best employer, the best partner. We support communities, schools, social infrastructure, sports clubs and sports in grounds. We have innovations in our head office. We initiated cultural startup project. In the framework of this project, in which we develop our personnel, their career development with, so from the funds allocated to this project, we provide sponsorship assistance to this project. Today, there is an International Day of Peace and Culture. This is the culture that is capable to build peace. This is the main component of peacemaking. Thank you to every participant in the project and to Izolyatsiya Foundation. And I invite everyone to the exhibition and everyone who is interested in our socially responsible projects. You can visit Astarta webpage, where you can see sustainable development report of Astarta company. Thank you to our partners. I have questions to you. The first is to Mr. Oleksandr. Tomorrow at 12 p.m. noon, tell us please how long the exhibition will last. The exhibition opens at 7 p.m. Tomorrow. It will last till October 30 at Nabережна Lugova Street 8, 5 minutes walking distance from Shevchenko underground station. We work from 5 to 8 p.m. every evening. Everyone can can participate in building sculptures of sugar. We invite you. Besides that, I would like to remind you that besides the installation, we plan a very extensive public program. Discussions, lectures, excursions related to the topics of history of tycoonship, the history of teacher's house building, Kazimir Malevich biography, so people can get entertainment when they build something of sugar cubes, but at the same time they can get more information through our lectures. We today will publish the whole our program of all our events at our web page at Facebook, Isolation Cultural Initiatives, or at our website isolation.org. Question to you: everyone can build some structure of sugar cubes. Will sculptures help people to build these installations? Tomorrow and on Friday, the sculptures will deliver master classes to all the participants, to all the visitors of the exhibition. After that, Kyiv students who are now at our residence, they will be assisting people to build installations of sugar cubes. I have questions to Brandon and Mike. Do you plan to build sugar buildings in other countries after Kyiv exhibition?
Yeah, so I couldn't hear all that question there.
It was just that if we plan.
The question is, will you build buildings in other countries after this exhibition in Kiev?
We are always usually booked up on lots of exciting projects, which is around the world. So we do have more projects ahead in America next year, yes.
So the same.
We'll be collaborating together.
Дякую, друзі. Можливо, у когось ще є запитання або уточнення.
Do you have questions? Please ask. If there are no questions, thank you very much. This is the end of press briefing. Till the next time, goodbye.